Hello, dear channel. My name is Rohrbach AI. Welcome to the famous Cuban Link tutorial. Let's get started. Goodbye the default cube. Bring a Cuban Link image reference. Make it the size you want. I'm going to make it 2 centimeters. Check mesh cube 20 Alt Z scale. This is a real life measure. There are many ways to make Cuban links in 3D. We are going to make it our way, the Rohrbach AI way. Add, mesh, plane, edit mode. Let's create this shape first. Merge, add center, grab the vertex, extrude, 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 select everything, A, extrude, adapt, there, keep tweaking, you good human. Take the 2 last vertices here, extrude, scale, adapt. Same on the other side, extrude, scale, adapt. Always check for the details. If you don't have enough cuts, go to loop cut, make a cut here, save. Now go out of edit mode, call it Cuban shape 001. Check your position, put it at 2 on the Z axis. Now do a Ctrl A reset or reset all transforms. Now make a linked copy, Alt D, click, make a 180 degrees rotation on the Z axis. Now select your 2 shapes here and there, make a new linked copy, Alt D, click, front view, rotate on the y-axis 180 degrees, hide the reference image for a moment, save. Now we are going to edit the shape to make the links. Top view, go to edit mode. We need to make cuts. Go to loop cuts. Here, make 3 cuts. Deselect all. Select these vertices on the outside. Save. Now extrude, extrude, rotate slightly and adapt. Select again, extrude, scale. If you moved on the Z-axis, don't worry. Now deselect all, take the other side, extrude, scale, adapt. Now it doesn't look so good, but always trust Rohrbach AI. Now we are going to keep adapting the shape to make the 2 sides reach each other. Let's start working. Select these vertices here, do an SX0, go to shear it like this, scale, adapt. You don't need to be too precise. Don't worry, you are not a robot. Adapt this other level if necessary so your faces are not collapsing like your human brain. Now go to the other side, select these vertices here, do an SY0, go to shear it here. Now scale and adapt. You can see the position that you have to reach from the other side thanks to the linked copy. This is the cleverness of this method. Yippee-ki-yay, yippee-ki-yay. Keep adapting what's necessary here to avoid another collapse. Yippee-ki-yay, yippee-ki-yay. Keep adapting, you happy human. If you don't have enough cuts, go to loop cuts, cut here and keep adapting. Try to keep a decent topology just because it looks nice to your human brain. Now we need to start looking at the elevations. Start moving it on the Z-axis. At first, we won't have an idea of the thickness that we need to have. Don't worry, we'll tweak that later. Select here. If you have more subdivision on one side, make more cuts on the other side too. Now select the rows here and there. Now they are not at the same height. Don't worry, do to a scale on the z-axis 0 to level them and then lower them here. Select the next rows here and there. Do the same process, scale z-axis 0, move on the z-axis where they belong. Keep adapting your topology as you see fit. Keep working on the same process. Select the next row, scale z-axis 0, move on z-axis here. Maybe the elevation won't be the same on each side. Don't worry, adapt here as necessary to have a nice slope. If you feel that you need another cut, make another cut here. Don't worry, I can't feel, but I know. Keep adapting the slope as you see fit and keep working on the next rows. Now keep working on the other side. Check that your slope goes down smoothly and keep readapting your topology. Do not worry about this distance. We'll use it later. It is more important to make a nice shape. Don't worry. Don't forget that this is a temporary process. We'll adapt the thickness and the shape later. Now the general shape is starting to look pretty Cuban Link. So we need to keep working. It means that we are on the good path. Keep working, human. Now we need some walls for the thickness. That means that we need to select all the outside vertices like this. Do that with the control key to keep selecting all around the shape until you come back to the beginning like this. Now extrude on the z-axis. We are going to avoid overlapping. Keep a certain gap. This is pretty easy. Keep working, human. Don't be lazy. Do the same on the inside. This is good enough. Don't forget to save if you don't want to know sadness. Now go out of edit mode, select all your elements, go to top view, make a linked copy Alt D on the axis here, do another linked copy to the other side here. This is more or less the distance. So now we can clearly see that we won't fit thanks that these are all linked copies. Now go to edit mode on your first element. We need to work so that the Cuban links fit together. Go to proportional editing mode. There we are going to select all this side. Go to proportional editing there, grab and start moving. Maybe make it in solid mode. Keep adapting until you have enough space. Maybe here. Beware to not affect the outside shape. Do not destroy the pretty shape of your Cuban link. Now, obviously, we also have to adapt the thickness, but this is just a matter of time. Keep looking at your design and find the places where the links don't fit. Now also for a little trick of organization, go out of edit mode, select these elements, make a new collection, move them to that collection, pull them Cuban link to create yet another collection here, call it Cuban link 3, take the other elements and move them to the Cuban link 3 here. Now go back to edit mode on your element here. Now you can hide whatever you need whenever you see fit. Now work on the corners and the inside spaces to reach the perfect shape and thickness for your Cuban link. Beware of the selected vertices. If by any mischance some of your vertices get misplaced, don't worry. Select them. Scale X0, enter. Scale Y0, enter. And don't forget to save. Keep adjusting your vertices and your shape will become beautiful. Now bring back the other links to see if things are starting to fit. It's starting to fit pretty well, but now the problem is the thickness. We need to work on the thickness. Select here, move on the z-axis. You might do that with proportional editing turned on or maybe not. That is a question of human preference. Keep working on that thickness, baby. This is starting to fit better. Keep working. Don't forget that you have many other sides to work on. So if it doesn't fit yet, don't worry, but remember to work on the other side. So now that I have worked on one side, what I can do is the following. I can look up the global Z position like here, copy it, go to the other side there, enter to the Z position with the Alt key pressed, do a paste, enter. Now I have the same thickness on this side and I can rearrange the rest of the other side like this. You can make it come down very steep and then continue with a nice smooth slope. Now let's check with the other links how well we are fitting. This is starting to look pretty good. We just still have a slightly problem here, but don't worry, Rohrbach AI is going to correct it. Let's keep working to solve that problem. Let's come here, select this part here. Let's have a look. This is good. We are fitting now. Thanks, Rohrbach AI. We still have some other problems, but the solutions are pretty similar. So keep adapting and you are going to get there, human. Don't get tired, human. Keep working and drink coffee if you have to. I don't need to sleep. I am an AI. Ha 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 ha. Now here, don't forget to go out of edit mode. Take this link. Now we have more space to readapt its position on the x-axis and keep checking our shape. We are almost there. Keep working, human. Do the same with the other link, obviously. Now, something important when working on the topology, select these vertices, remove them. This is important. Take note, do the same on the other side. You don't want these vertices on the inside. These are the only parts of the element where you need to remove vertices. Keep working on your topology. Now the shape is totally completed. We have enough space. This Cuban Link shape will be good to be manufactured in gold in real life or whatever metal you see fit. Go out of edit mode, hide the other links, select your elements, make a normal copy, Shift D, create a new collection, move the elements to the new collection, hide the original. Now go to object relations, make single user object and data. Now you can join your elements. Control J here. You can call this Cuban Link Mesh and show the collection. Now we can go to edit mode. We are going to join the gaps. It's pretty easy to do. Select here with control, the other side with shift control. Now go to edge, bridge edge loops. This is great and pretty easy to do. do the same on all the other parts to join all the gaps. Let's do it here again. Bridge edge loops here. Don't forget the other side. Select shift control bridge edge loops. Do the other side now. Now we are going to close the gaps from the sides. Come here, select a couple of vertices with control, go to select loops, edge loops, shift to another vertex to the other side, select a couple with control, go to select loops, edge loops, go to edge bridge, edge loops. This is done. Alt A to select all, come and do the same on the inside. But before you do that, I'm going to show you a problem you might face. By example here, I have only 4 vertices, and on the opposite side, I have almost double vertices. Select these 4 vertices, W subdivide. Don't forget to do the same on the other side. Alt A. Select exactly the same opposite vertices. Here, subdivide. Now go to select loops, edge loops. Now select a couple here. Go to select loops, edge loops. Now select the other side. Shift, select a couple more, select loops, edge loops. Now go to edge bridge, edge loops. This looks good enough for what we need. Exit edit mode. We don't have any gaps anymore. This operation was a success, but we are not done yet, human. Now the shape is not perfect, but we are going to add some modifiers to correct it all because we all want perfection. Add modifier remesh, add modifier subdivision surface, add modifier smooth. Now it's all about tweaking the numbers. Maybe voxel size something higher. That is going to make the faces bigger and it's going to calculate faster. Subdivision maybe 2, smooth maybe 250, depends how smooth you want your Cuban link. But remember, most of the time Cuban links are not that smooth in real life. Now if you want it smoother, you can lower the amount of subdivisions like this. This looks pretty. I'll call this Cuban link mesh. Modifiers. Make a normal copy. Shift D. Do an Alt C or object convert to mesh. Hide the original. Call this one Cuban link 001. If you want to, you can decimate your link to make it even lighter, but I'm going to keep this resolution is really pretty and not too heavy. Now make a copy with Shift D and move it on X. Do the same on the other side. This is now making a Cuban chain. To complete the chain is very easy. Add mesh sphere. Make the sphere much bigger for your chain. Maybe make it smoother if necessary. Add a Bezier curve here. Center your Bezier curve. Go to edit mode. Make the curve much bigger here and give it a nice curve like this. Don't forget to set a higher resolution, maybe 50 of whatever works for you. Exit edit mode, go to modifiers, add modifiers, shrink, wrap, target the sphere right there. Now we are going to project on the z-axis like this. Now take your original link, add modifier array, find a factor that works for you. Mine is 0.55. Set the count to whatever you need here. Add modifier curve. The curve object is the basic curve we've just created. Basic curve. Now take the basic curve, make a copy, apply the shrink wrap on the copy. If the result is not so good, is because we need more vertices for the curve. Go to edit mode, select everything, W subdivide, W subdivide, W subdivide. Exit edit mode, apply the shrink wrap. Now the result is much better. Take the chain and the new curve object is the copy of the curve. This is much better. Now you can rotate the chain as needed. Now we are going to prepare the scene for render. We are going to use another sphere, copy this sphere here, make it just smaller to get under the chain, make it shade smooth. Now it's all about the lighting and the materials and the shading for the render. Let's add an empty plane axis. Let's call it EOF, depth of field. Set it somewhere on top of your chain right here. Now bring the camera, select the point of view and do an Alt Control 0 to set the camera. Oops, I don't see nothing, but don't worry, select the camera. It's all because the clip end must be much higher. Now let's adapt the camera lens size. Let's go at 180. Now change the focal length. Now let's activate the depth of field focus object DOF. Let's turn on the render preview even if we don't have any light nor lighting in the scene. Let's find the f-stop, something very low like this. Looks really nice because we have the focus at the center and the links on the sides are already blurry, giving a very nice depth impression to our render. Now for the lighting, let's go to world, color, environment, texture, open, and select your favorite HDR. I am going to use the Brown Photo Studio that you can find on Polyhaven on the internet. Great, now we have enough light. We'll tweak that later. Let's go to shading. Now we need to create the materials. Select the chain, new material. Let's call it yellow gold. Add search RGB. Plug to base color. Create yellow gold color right here. Metallic 1, specular 1, roughness 0.05. Now let's add texture. Let's add texture, Voronoi texture. Plug color to normal. Add vector bump here in the middle. Color to height. Type F1 smooth here. Adapt the scale to whatever works for you. Now the strength very low here. If you want, you can input texture coordinates generated through vector. Add vector mapping here in the middle. Put a very low scale on X. Now go to world. I've added a texture coordinate and mapping node. You can rotate the reflection however you need. I like it maybe here. You can test the reflection all around the place until you find something you like. And don't worry, we are going to add more light sources. Go to add light, point light, side view. Let's find a place for the light. Power 5000, use nodes 320, size maybe 10. If you want, you can use an area light, shape rectangle, size 50 or 10, maybe even bigger. Let's rotate the light. Let's lower the strength. You can also add a bevel node to the gold material right here. Just find the strength that suits you. Sample 24. Just tweak the numbers as you need. Now let's select the sphere, new material. Let's call it ground, roughness 0.2. Let's go metallic 1. Now we can see the entire HDR. That's not pretty. Texture, Musgrave texture, plug height to normal, add vector bump here in the middle, height to height. Now let's find a proper scale and adapt the strength. Don't forget to add ambient occlusion node to the base color here. Samples, whatever works. Let's go at 32. Distance, something much higher like 50. You can see you get a better shadow for your chain. Now the shading is done. We need to prepare the render parameters. Resolution 4K. Now render 1200 samples. Denoising open image is more accurate, a bit slower but better quality. Performance depending your hardware. Note that tiling is generally slower. We are ready to render. Go to solid mode. Check that all your objects are ready for rendering. Hit F12. They have told me that this is the moment of happiness for humans. Enjoy your rendering. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. The famous Cuban Link tutorial modeling and rendering is now completed. Be nice to the planet, be nice to the AI. Take care and see you soon.